following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Friday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys. As we're live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco, we've got Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips. I'm Kyle Yeomans here for the next 45 minutes as we continue to break down the 31-29 loss. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Dallas Cowboys to kick off not only the Cowboys regular season, but the NFL regular season. There was some good, there was some bad, and we're going to hit all of it and in between here over the course of this show. But glad you're with us here early in the morning. 9 a.m. Central Time is when we'll get kicked off for the rest of the season, and we will be on every weekday from here on out, which is a lot of fun to have on DallasCowboys.com.
Shake and bake.
Shake it free, bake it.
We are back. But Rob Phillips, I'm going to let you start things off. 31-29. It was an instant classic that just came up short for the Cowboys overall last night.
The NFL knew what they were doing when they made this matchup. They knew about the talent on both sides, and I know we've dissected this team throughout preseason, and there's some spots where they're not deep, but at the top of their roster, they've got some big time talent, especially on offense, that can match Tom Brady and this defending champion Bucs team, and they did it. You know, they got right to the edge, and man, that game reminded me. I'm sorry to bring the room down, Heck, but it reminded me of that divisional playoff game against Green Bay in 2016. Dak's rookie year. He's going toe for toe with a legend.
Dez Bryant.
Yep. Take my heart out one more time. Why don't you?
Is that one?
No,
That's not the Dez game.
It's not the Dez game.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, that's the Packer game. Yeah.
Packer playoff game here at home.
Yeah, he goes toe-to-toe with a legend, and not only is there's another play where you think you got a strip sack on the quarterback.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know how the hell that didn't happen for Dorrance Armstrong earlier in the game. Jeff Heath against the Packers back then, but you leave just a little bit too much time for Tom Brady, and he gets it done.
I'm ticked off this morning. I'm so happy everybody else is in a good mood.
I felt that when I walked in this morning, Heck.
I didn't even speak to you.
You didn't.
Yeah, so I'm telling
I was
you,
appalled.
this is a hard one. This is a tough one. And when you say the NFL knew what they were doing, I think the NFL tried to offer us up to Tampa, and they didn't recognize that the Cowboys were coming to town, and a lot of those questions were going to get answered that we didn't know from the preseason going into the regular season. And I think we realized that, man, all this talk about Dak and his shoulder was because they were going to unveil the Hollister on Thursday night, and he was going to have an opportunity to throw it all over the park. You know, the one thing that really just disappointed me was the fact that we did not at all stay with the running game. I mean, I'm just going to point that out. That's the one thing about last night that really was, I was like, what's at the end of this first half, I kept saying to myself, are we literally just going to abandon the run for the rest of the game? But, you know, again, it was a great matchup, and you're absolutely right. The NFL put together a spectacular first night of action and couldn't be more happy about the production of the NFL last night, but not the outcome.
I think last night was positive. And that's why I'm not coming being Debbie Downer. That's why I'm not coming in here sulking with my head down and feeling sorry for myself. Last night was a positive thing. You just faced the world champions who brought back completely their entire roster and added more depth to that roster, and they had all their firepower ready for you, and you went toe-to-toe with them last night. You didn't get beat. You lost the game. You did not get beat. You lost that game because you had opportunities to take advantage of that you did not. We missed field goals. We missed big plays. We gave up big plays, right? There was coverage. We had blown coverage assignments. We had bad matchups that we should have never been in, D-Law versus Gronkowski. There's a lot of things in there that we had plenty of opportunities to win this game, and we didn't do it. So we lost the game, right? We gave it away. And the fact that you can walk it out of this game, for the most part, healthy as far as I know, right?
Michael Gallup's really
Gallup's,
the only guy.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we walked out of this game pretty healthy, and we know that we went toe to toe with the complete champions, the undoubted champions in this league. Aside from them in Kansas City, those are two dogs in this league that everybody has to be fearful of, and you know that you gave it away. You should be feeling real good about where you're at right now. Oh, and by the way, your first round draft pick is a dog.
Micah Parsons was all over the place. There were some lapses there, and he looked lost at times. But you're right. There's no such thing as a moral.
There's no moral victory, no,
in the NFL. But there are positives you can take out of a loss, and there were plenty of top positives. And one of those was Dak Prescott. I mean, you look at the way that he threw the football around: 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns. But I kind of want to keep that in mind when talking about Heckma's point and abandoning the run. We saw that early. There were 6 rushing attempts in the first half. There were 18 total for the game. Why was that the case, and is that something we can expect moving forward with Kellen Moore in this offense?
Well, look, I don't want that to be the case because of what you're paying Ezekiel Elliott. I think Kellen Moore was in a situation last night where the Tampa defense was loading the box. They were daring you to run. Vita Vea was a complete nightmare last night. And you have McGovern, who did a great job, by the way, but the interior of your offensive line was being tested. I still think you have to make defenses be honest. And the Cowboys just said, well, okay, you're going to play it like this. What we're going to do is we're going to throw it all over the park. And Dak did a really good job of finding those mismatches in those coverages. Todd Bowles did a lot to try and confuse Dak Prescott, but that may have worked on a rookie quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Dak just did a really good job of manipulating the offense and getting those extra yards in the pass.
Yeah, in regards to the run, I think Kellen Moore has an attention span issue, right? Attention deficit when it comes to run. He's comfortable with the pass, and he was in his bag. We said it on the post-game show last night. Kellen Moore was in his bag. That boy came to play.
I thought it was one of the best called games I've seen from Kellen Moore.
He did an amazing job from the time from the beginning snap all the way to the end. He came out with great formations, great shifts, motions. We did a lot of 12 personnel. We talked about that this offseason, right? A lot of 12 personnel because we have 2 guys that can go out there and make it happen. Not only to give us opportunity to run the ball, but to pass the ball, and we just abandoned the run. To your point, we abandoned the run. We talked about it on this show last week. You're not getting anything up front, up the middle. It's a wasted play. I said that, right? It's a wasted doggone play. So when we ran outside, guess what? Zeke stretch. He put his foot in the ground, and you saw the work he put in this offseason and his explosiveness. You saw him put his foot in the ground, get 3, 4, 5 yards at a pop, right? We saw Pollard and a incorporation of Pollard being able to get the ball in his hands, getting him moving. And then what happened? Kellen Moore, the ADD, came in and he said, I'm just going to throw the ball. It's not that we couldn't run the ball, it's that we abandoned it.
Yeah, and I think one thing that the way the game has changed too, the short passing game can function as a supplement to the run game, and they tried to do that, and they really tried to attack the edges because, like you said, they didn't want to run into a brick wall. And the thing about this Cowboys offensive line, they're still very talented, but they were young up the middle last night on the interior. And when they have been a great running team the last few years, they had Travis Frederick at center, they had Zach Martin at right guard. Zach obviously did not play in this game because of COVID, and it was just a different game for them. I thought both teams saw the same game offensively.
Yeah,
they saw matchups on the outside that they loved. We'll get into Tom Brady, what he saw on the outside, and when Sean Murphy Bunting went down for Tampa, they looked and they see the box loaded and said, look, we love our receivers. Absolutely. We love these matchups. Yeah. So I'm with you. Like, you don't want to 58 pass attempts? I mean, that tied his career high for Dak. That is too much. But they found other ways to try to mimic the run game with some short passing game. And hey, we saw some 2-back sets with Tony Pollard in there too. Based on this game, Tony Pollard's going to get a lot more run than he did last year.
And I believe he should. And I think he's a difference maker. And then you look around the NFL, a lot of teams have that thunder and lightning set from their running backs. But going back to what you said about the tight ends and 12 personnel, use 12 personnel when you have tight ends that can block. I think our tight ends, if you just spot like that, I think Jarwin did a kind of mediocre job in blocking. And
I was about to say, can they block? Because
but that's what I'm saying.
Jarwin missed the touchdown.
When you complement the formation is what I'm saying. Yeah. I think that adds a different wrinkle when you have guys that can actually block and get you the extra. So look, that was the main thing for me. That was, when I looked at the game again last night, I was like, man, we missed some opportunities, especially in one-on-one matchups matchups, the option route down the flip out to Zeke, where Jarwin, all we need you to do is get that block, man. And Zeke, you got to win that one-on. You got to, if you're one-on-one in space, you got to win that matchup.
It comes down to the red zone again. Like they still miss their opportunities in the red zone, as good as they've been moving the ball. But I just looked at the rushing stats real quick for Tampa. Leonard Fournette had 9 carries. Tampa had 14 carries total in the game. Cowboys actually had 18 carries if you factored 4 rushes by Dak. So it was just kind of that kind of game.
Yep.
And honestly, the league is headed that way too, where it's turning into a track meet especially when you have 2 great quarterbacks. Oh. And after this performance, I think Dak's in that category. For people that don't think he is, he's in that top tier of quarterbacks at this point in the NFL, I think.
No doubt. I mean, that was a gutsy game from Dak Prescott, and he's going to have to be gutsy moving forward. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to go back to the missed opportunities. There were 4 points easy left off the board, a PAT and a 31-yard field goal that were missed. And Zuerlein took blame for that after the game. He was very upfront. He said, I can't miss kicks like that. I mean, he made the big kicks. Made the big kicks. He missed those 2, and that's 4 points off the board. And gosh, those 4 points would have been nice later on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody's going to point to Zuerlein, right? You have one job to do, and that's to kick extra points and kick field goals. And yes, he has to score. He has to make those. Unfortunately, he didn't. But that was not the only thing, only opportunities that we had. CeeDee Lamb had, 2 drops?
Yep.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb had 2.
Turned him into an interception.
Exactly. So he had 2 big drops. There were some other pass completions that were still left on the table out there, and I think that was in regards to Dak and his hesitation to really try to drive the ball in there. His timing was off in that first half, and we had a lot of opportunities there. So it was a collective effort in terms of opportunities. Everybody's going to point the finger at Zuerlein, and I get it, but don't be just a fan, be an analyst for a second and look at it and say there's a lot of other things that we could have done that would have kept us out of the position to where we needed those 4 points.
So I'm going to be a complete fan here, so it doesn't matter because and I think the coaches do that. You shouldn't have to rely on a kicker to win you the game, but that's what they're there for. And a lot of times you drive the length of the field and you get close enough and you have a kicker that you understand can get you that. A 37-yard field goal miss. Come on, bro.
No,
PAT
31.
Excuse me.
31.
Excuse me.
Hey,
minus 6.
You'll get no argument from me over here. He has to make those. He has to make those.
Let's go back to the PAT. You got to get that.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that are differences in the game, and let's just talk about the fine points of coaching and just being able to make in-game adjustments, things like that. And that's when you look around the league, you look at coaching, and you can recognize those coaches that make those adjustments in game when we can't.
I feel you, bro. All I'm saying is, just to address that question, it wasn't just Zuerlein. We needed those points, and he should have had those points. Let's put that on the table.
Those guys battled.
Everybody battled, but there were other opportunities. There were plenty of other opportunities that put us in a bad position. That's all I'm saying. It was not solely him. Should he do his job? Absolutely. But that's not the only person who did not accomplish what they needed to take care of.
I mean, I didn't expect him to miss a 31-yarder.
No.
But I mean, rust or whatever, it seemed like it's some kind of technical issue because he was pulling the ball. He was going left until.
If you miss a 31, then you come back and you
hit the
a 60.
He was pulling the ball.
60 after the guy just mixed the 31.
What else would you do in that situation?
Man, I don't know. I wouldn't put the guy out there that just missed a 31-yard field goal to try and make a 60-yard field goal.
You gonna punt it?
Man, I'm not gonna put that guy in that situation.
I don't fault them for attempting that.
Yeah, I really don't either.
I don't.
It didn't turn up into points the other way, luckily, but it did give an opportunity for it to turn into points the other way.
Yeah, that was my issue with it.
Yeah,
I would say Tom Brady's only needs a couple first downs, and there you go.
So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about what ifs and the narrative being written. But that's what your whole thesis is based off of. A what if?
No. My thesis is on taking care of what you're responsible for doing. That's what I'm talking about. Zuerlein did not take care of his job.
But
he did not. And there were other guys that didn't take care of their jobs. And because they didn't take care of their jobs, it gave the other team opportunities. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what if scenarios. I'm saying CD should have caught those balls. Zuerlein should have made those field goals. Dak should have been on time with some of the passes.
Should and if for Cousins, man.
No, but I'm saying, had they done what they were supposed to do, those were completions. That's what I'm saying. That's their job, right? You're talking about Zuerlein. His job is to make field goals.
Yeah.
Dak's job is to throw the ball on time. CD's job is to catch the ball. Our job is to tackle. Our job on special teams is to not give up 30-yard freaking returns. You know what I'm saying? So those are jobs. That's what you're paid to do. And unfortunately, there was a lot more than just those 2 kicks that guys did not complete their complete their responsibilities.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at the missed opportunities, and you mentioned, I think, on the first drive, I think you could call it a drop by CD, but Dak kind of left it a little short. We mentioned the Zeke pitch out where they settled there in the red zone there. You get an interception at the Tampa Bay 21, you kick a field goal. I mean, those are the kind of things you look back and you're like, damn, it is more than the field goals for sure.
Yeah, and you could look at blown coverage on the defensive side of the football on a couple of occasions. There are some veterans, I think, at the cornerback spot that you might want to take a look at. But we're going to talk about that coming up later on. When we come back, how did Dak Prescott look in his return to action? His first game in 11 months, 333 days, put up 400-plus yards. What did we think about him and the offense in general when we return here with Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos?
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor on Talkin Cowboys. We never took the cam.
It's okay.
It was good. It was very good today.
We got a lot of sad faces around here. There's a lot to take away from this game that's positive. People got to see the positive in every situation.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of positive to see. We lost. We lost the game. We didn't get scraped up.
I think fans have to look at this game and be like, this is going to be a fun year.
Come on, man. Yeah.
If we stay healthy,
be excited
with the offense we have, and maybe the defense continues to get better. And can I just say this real quick?
Yep.
The weather was a factor. Like the humidity, you saw pregame and the
sweat. Everybody
sweat. I mean the Cowboys tried to mimic that out here, but the defensive line, they played every guy. I mean, even Bradley and I got 10 snaps in the game.
Yep.
So I thought they fought defensively for what they had to deal with the humidity and, missing some key guys on offense. So
Can I say something for everybody that feels really sorry and sad right now? TB12, I can say, as a teammate, he doesn't blow smoke. Right? When he's talking to the media, right, he'll gas guys up just because that's the Bill Belichick, New England Patriot way of doing things. But when he's interpersonally, he doesn't blow smoke. What did he say to Dak when they went to go shake hands?
What did he say?
You guys know what he said? Mm-hmm. He said, "We'll see you guys again."
No, Dak said that.
Tom said that to him?
Yeah.
Dak said that to Tom.
But Tom, guess what? Tom said it too. We'll see you guys again. That's a fact. Feel good about that. Feel good about that.
Tom Brady spoke from the
Bro,
heavens.
hey,
we're gonna see him
you talking
again.
Come on, man. We're talking about the greatest player of all time.
Man, look,
we're talking about the greatest player of all time, undisputed.
You
have to acknowledge the fact. You have to. Yeah, that's undisputed. You have to acknowledge the fact that this dude respected the performance they put out. He knew they gave up opportunities.
That's good.
They gave up opportunities that allowed us to even have a chance to win the game.
100%.
So let's be honest. Both teams had mistakes that they don't feel good about.
Yeah, Tampa Bay ran the ball less than we did. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at both of these teams and so it's not a glass half full kind of situation. We had their ass.
Absolutely,
Isaiah. We was about to beat them, dog. What you talking about? You was about to come in here and you was about to have a long face, and we had him, and we left a minute and 30
you don't see me with long face.
on the board.
You don't see me with long face. You don't think TB12 was mad about Godwin dropping a touchdown? You don't think TB12 was mad? You don't think he was mad about freaking Fournette dropping a doggone easy pass that he caught in 2 quarters later? You don't think he was mad about that tipped ball interception? There was plays that they had too that would have put them in a better situation, that would have opened up their lead.
Oh, Cowboys +3 in the turnover
Come
battle.
on, man. What have we been asking for, P?
I know. You could argue that they should have won this game comfortably, or at least by a touchdown.
We had 2 real takeaways. We had 2 takeaways. We had 2 gifts. 2 takeaways and 2 gifts.
You're right. There were 2 of them.
There was 2 takeaways. KZ had a takeaway. D-Law had a takeaway. Yeah. Both of those guys forced fumbles. The tip ball off Fournette, that's a gift. It fell in your hand.
Yes.
Okay. The Hail Mary interception, that's a gift. So we had 2 real takeaways. We had 4 turnovers. We'll take it however we get it. Don't get me wrong. But we took the ball away twice and we got the ball 2 other times.
I agree with you, Hail Mary. All right, Hail Mary. But the tips, they count in football. That's
tips and overthrows, got to get those. Absolutely. But guess what? You didn't do anything to take that away from that person. The ball fell in your arm.
But you said gift, however it goes. And we'll say that this W is a
turnover.
gift.
Guess what? A turnover. Nah, come on now. That's being a fan. Turnover is a turnover.
I'm going to be that.
Turnover is a turnover. But if somebody drops the ball and it falls in your arms, you didn't do anything to earn that.
Where does it go in the column as an interception?
It does.
I said that. A turnover is a turnover.
And where does it go in the win-loss column? It goes in the loss.
You could have put little Heckman in that position in the ball. He would have caught that.
I know.
I don't know. Hey, the only thing I will say is there, guys in the past defenses, like I'm thinking about Xavier Woods, guys that had chances to make plays like that in past
couldn't
seasons,
do it.
Didn't come up with it. So like. Well,
okay.
Different teams,
right.
but yeah,
that's
you
could have took middle school student in a tip ball. He would have caught that.
Accept your gifts.
Accept your gifts. Accept your gifts, and guess what? And put them in the stat sheet, because guess what? No matter what, it was 4 turnovers, and you feel good. Even if it was just 2 turnovers, I would still be sitting here saying, "Good freaking job, defense," because we have a character on that side of the ball now. Those guys were flying around. They were rotating in and out. We talked about how are they going to cycle those guys through there. Linebackers were coming in and out like they were freaking defensive linemen, right? So we had a lot of positive things. But I'm saying take the turnovers, heck. But don't say that you earned that doggone that tip ball to interception.
It goes down as an interception.
Absolutely, it does. But you didn't do anything to earn that. That's all I'm saying.
It amazes me how the goalpost moves when it comes down to what's a turnover, what's not, what's a win, what's not, what's an if, what's a should. I do hear you.
No, you hear me, but you're not listening to me.
Oh God, that's a great one. That is a great one.
You can't hear Jimmy. Heckma can't hear Jimmy. That's a white man can't jump reference for those that don't know what I'm talking about. You hear me, but you're not listening to me.
I use that in my house, and I sleep on the couch for at least a month. So I appreciate that. Go ahead.
You have a nice couch, though.
Yeah, I do. But that's crazy.
We were going to talk Dak Prescott in this segment.
We may as well.
Segment's half over.
I'm going to push that back. I'm going to do that in the final segment. We're going to keep it at defense. And you mentioned the rotation. Cowboys defense on the field Thursday against the Buccaneers. How about the snap distribution from the linebackers? Micah Parsons, 51. Neal, 50. Jalen Smith saw 16 snaps. That's 25% of the snaps after playing 95% or more in the past. Leighton Vander Esch saw 14 snaps, 22%. What do you think about that?
I didn't think it would be that. Like, as much as Tom and the Bucs spread everybody out, I mean, that's their sub package is Keanu Neal and Micah Parsons. But I thought Vander Esch might have more than 14 snaps.
Yeah.
But they played their nickel, and that's what they had to do in this matchup. It might change more, but it might not, because this is the way offenses play you.
Correct.
I mean, this is the way the league's going now.
Yeah.
So
they matched personnel. I mean, I would have lost all my money if I would have bet that would have been a distribution of playing time. But to the point, these guys, the personnel called for for them to have a certain personnel. And if you would have put Vander Esch and Smith out there against some of the guys that we were facing last night in more situations, there would have been more mismatches. So I think the coaches did the right thing. It's just we just didn't expect that.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth kept pointing out those sub packages as well, and just saying that anytime that Jalen and Leighton were on the field, that was their run-heavy defense. Yep. And so I think Tom actually noticed that as well and started getting backs out of the backfield. And so those things, I guess as the game progressed, I kept saying to myself, look, Micah's doing a really good job in the running game also. So if you're taking this guy out of the game because you think he's weak against the run, he's showing you otherwise. He was shooting the gap, doing a lot of great things. I think, look, for a rookie linebacker, if we're going to grade him, it's going to be a B- based off of where he was in pass coverage. And a lot of people were pointing out that Micah looked like his head was spinning. And that's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady.
Well, it's the NFL and not playing a game for a year. Also,
and all of that,
think of both
and all of that.
things.
But I'm saying as far as just him sideline to sideline, his hustle, he's showing you that he is a dog. But at the same time, coverage wise, he's going to have to clean that up. Keon O'Neal, and look, these guys are going against Gronkowski and one of the best tight ends in the game, but. Again, I think those matchups and where they were defensively, when you talk about Tank being man-to-man on Gronk in the goal line, you have to have inside protection for your defense once you get that close. And then when you go cover zero down there, man, Tom made him. Look, Tom is a coach on the field, and he made him pay.
You talking about the safety blitz?
Yeah.
That's
not even
cover zero safety blitz.
That later.
Tom's seen that a couple times in his career. I guess.
How many plays did those guys have again? One more time.
So it was 51 for Parsons, 50 for Neal, 16 for Jalen Smith, and then 14 for Leighton Vander Esch.
So 16 and 14. Tampa Bay had 14 rushes.
Yeah. And look, I mean, Jaron Kearse gets 40 snaps in this game. And so they're playing kind of three safeties, kind of helping with the tight ends, like you mentioned, O.J. Howard and Gronkowski. It matched personnel. That's what they had to do.
It's what Dan Quinn said he was going to do this offseason. He said, hey, we're going to play it like a basketball team. I mean, we're going to have positions, and we're going to have starters and
that's
stuff
why
like
I was surprised Israel Mukuamu wasn't active.
How did you guys feel? I mean, obviously there was so much drama in this game, but how did you feel overall about Dan Quinn's defense last night?
Way better than last year.
Yeah.
It was competitive.
In my opinion. It was competitive. And I thought they flew around. I thought you have your guy at the cornerback spot.
Yes.
Trayvon Diggs is a dude.
Yep.
I mean, the way that he locked down Mike Evans was pretty fantastic. I mean, I got to find the actual stat
we're not even
line.
talking about their best receiver.
No, because he wasn't a factor.
Well, no. You understand. You understand
three
that
receptions for 24 yards.
And we played man.
You understand that Tom is going to play pin the tail on the donkey, right? He's going to find the weakest link, and that's what he did all game.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take what you give me at this point because I realize, Aiden's dad is over there locking down Texas A&M guy. But look, AB. And I'm talking about Antonio Brown, 116 yards after the first half. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable as a defensive coordinator. However, as a defensive coordinator, you told these guys and you've shown them we're going to play man. I don't care who our opponents are. I don't care what their personnel is. I'm going to depend on you to play man-to-man. And I'm going to challenge you as a man to get in their grill and stick in their hip pocket. I don't care who it is. And that's what they did. So guess what? You took your best defensive back and you put them on their best receiver. Guess what? He did a heck of a job. But then guess what? Unfortunately, this team's number 2 receiver is really a number 1 receiver. And our number 2 DB is not a number 1 DB. Right, so Antonio Brown versus Anthony Brown versus Jay Lou. Godwin versus Jay Lou. I mean, we talked about this. Their receivers are better than our DBs. Facts. And when you have that matchup and you decide to play man-to-man, you're going to give up plays. And you say, I'm going to take out your number 1. Your number 1 DB stepped up and did that. Kudos to you. Great job, Diggs. Second year, you took out Mike freaking Evans. That's a heck of an accomplishment. But unfortunately, we don't have another Trayvon Diggs on the other side, which is why we talked about how we should have made an investment into a big boy receiver that can go out. Big boy DB that can go out there and lock up the other side. We didn't. We chose not to.
Those don't grow on trees, though. And
they don't grow on trees, and it takes an investment.
Yeah. You're right. We looked at the possibility, and there really wasn't a huge possibility outside of the draft.
But to my point, we were talking about off the air. Name a defense that has a number 2 cornerback that can shut down AB.
Exactly.
I'll wait.
Or Chris Godwin.
And Godwin's like a 1A receiver.
That's what I'm saying.
In my
These guys got 3 dogs out there. These aren't like okay receivers. Like These are number one receivers on any other team.
Yeah, and if they're that good, as good as you're saying that they are, obviously this is going to be a repeat year for Tampa, and these guys are going to get gold jackets at the end. Because if you do 116 after the first half, and you're getting paid a salary to be a DB in this league, there's something wrong. Coverage or not, I'm saying if I pay you to do a job and you're getting 116, you're getting baked at halftime. What's the adjustment? What do you do with that? Because these same guys are coming. These same guys are coming out of the tunnel for the second half.
You're absolutely correct. But guess what? You can't. What's the definition of crazy? Right?
Doing the same thing.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again. So if you keep stepping up to AB, thinking that you're going to get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage, try again. If you think that you're going to come up to AB and just shade the inside because you think that you got the sideline as your help on this particular guy, man to man, try again. So you're going to get torched every single time. So guess what? You might want to play a little bit off. Maybe you might want to play cover one. Your coach called cover one. Maybe I'm 5 yards off and I change up my alignment a little bit. Maybe I change it. Maybe I flash my hands and act like I'm going to jam him up and just to hold him up for a hot second. You have to try different things. Guess what? He may not, his bag, like Kellen Moore went in his bag. Guess what? A. Brown may not have, his bag isn't that deep. His bag's not that deep. Antonio Brown's been around for a minute. He's baptized many guys.
Yeah,
he's embarrassed many guys.
And I know you called for this last week, but look, Kelvin Joseph's on IR for 2 more weeks minimum.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is Maurice Kennedy, who's mostly been a slot receiver.
Or slot corner.
I'm sorry, slot corner throughout training camp and preseason, and Nashawn Wright's a rookie.
So if Nashawn Wright gives up 116 in the first half, do you say it's a rookie, or
let's say
this? It's AB?
Say it's AB.
If you come out, say we meet these guys in the playoffs. We meet them in the playoffs. You can't play man-to-man. You can't do the same thing and expect a better result just because it's later on in the season. Your personnel can't stop their personnel man-to-man. It's not going to happen. That's the reality.
That's why
regardless of what you're getting paid, Heckma.
This was like looking in the mirror, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really the same things that everybody says about the Cowboys every week, like how are we going to game plan for these receivers? It's why Tampa's got the same matchup nightmares. That's what made this game so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the same offenses in a lot of regards. The difference for Tampa is they've got more of a veteran defense with guys who can really get after you. And the Cowboys are still developing that with Dan Quinn.
Absolutely.
Even with Anthony Brown's 5 receptions for 121 and Chris Godwin's 9 receptions for 105, they still were not the best receiver on the field. The best receiver on the field.
Got shut down.
No, I was talking about Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Coop.
I'm talking about what Coop did last night. And the way that he played, CeeDee Lamb had a couple drops, but he had a really nice night as well. How did the passing game look? I'll tease it again. We're going to talk about it. Don't you derail my segment next time, gentlemen. When we come back here on Talkin' Cowboys.
Hey, these boys can get paid whatever they want to. You can't match up against these cats, and that's why they won last year.
That's why
their defense played well. And their offense did what they did.
And you got tight ends. And they got a good O-line.
3 tight ends.
I mean, Brady got hit twice.
Are we in the break?
I hope so.
If not, we still talking. That's why they won.
Okay.
That's why they won. They had a defense that stepped up and played. Right? Their defense stepped up and played, and their offense did what they did. They create mismatches all over the field. If you play
yes, we did.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Final segment of a really fun edition of Talkin' Cowboys presented by Tostitos. We've got Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, the great Heckma Harrison. I'm Kyle Yeomans, and Heckma's just chomping at the bit today.
As usual, I love y'all's arguments carried into the break. You guys are always like both right. You're kind of saying the same thing.
So calm down, Fido.
About what I'm hearing.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear it? It was a drop. It was
calm down, Fido.
He just used Chris Beam. He just used Heckma's drop against Heckma.
Yeah.
Love it.
Wow.
Chris, you ain't right, man.
Chris is running on 2 hours of sleep. So, by the way, a huge shout out to Chris Beam. Dude got home last night at 4 a.m. and he was back up here by 6.
That's why he makes the big bucks.
You the man, CB.
Back up here by 6.
The legend.
He is a legend. So we want to give the props to Chris Beam and everybody who showed up to work this morning and are joining us early in the morning on Talking Cowboys. Let's talk Dak Prescott. 42 of 58, ties a career high in passing attempts, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, the 1 interception that ironically might have been the best throw of the night that he had. I mean, he put it on the money into triple coverage right in the middle of the hands for CeeDee Lamb, went off his hands and then was intercepted subsequently. But a good night statistically for Dak Prescott. Rob, what did you see from him in his first game in over 11 months?
I can't express really how impressed I was with it because it's not just the numbers and yeah, I mean, I know y'all mentioned that maybe there's some plays early in the game where he was still kind of feeling a rhythm or trying to get into a rhythm. But you just think about how long he missed and how much time he missed in training camp. And he goes out there against that quality of a defense and is just kind of unfazed. You know, the touchdown, I think it was the first touchdown pass to Amari. Bad snap by Tyler Biadasz. Yep. No big deal. You know, pick it up and let's go. And even, you know, he wasn't wary of running. You know, they used him a little bit in the red zone with some zone read stuff
option.
Like they've done in the past. That's a top 5 Dak Prescott performance that I've seen in his career, and I need to go back and watch the game. It might be higher just because of the team that he was facing, where he's been. Really, really impressed.
Isaiah?
Yeah, I think, overall, in his entirety, I believe that Dak had a good game. I really do think that he had a good game. He came in, he battled. He was made uncomfortable, and in being uncomfortable, he still found a way to make plays. We all know that he didn't want to run the ball. We knew that Dak didn't want anything to do with it, having to get out the pocket and run. But guess what? He did it because it was necessary. We knew that Dak didn't want guys jumping around his ankle, right, and coming in on his knees. But guess what? He still stood in the pocket and delivered the ball. Now, in the first half, I will be the first one to say that he was not Dak in the first half. I think he was in his own head in terms of what he was able to do. The velocity on the ball, I don't care, all the fans and everybody else can curse me out all they want to. The velocity was not there. Balls were dying out. And again, this is a very analytical quarterback perspective that I have here.
Yeah, see, I don't see that. But you played the position.
Balls were dying out, right? Comebacks, the balls were not on the right location. Fade routes, the balls were in the wrong shoulder. There was a lot of things like that most people don't see that I saw. In the second half, he was thinking more about the game situation. The game situation changed, right? It was a lot more intense. So guess where his focus was? It was on moving these chains. It was on these other things. Not to say that he wasn't thinking about those things in the first half. Don't take that literal. But he was more focused on the game situation. So the last thing he was thinking about was what? His shoulder. Last thing he was thinking about was his ankle. I don't think he was really ever really bothered by his ankle.
I don't think the ankle bothered him at all.
But I think in the first half, the shoulder was in his head. And I think his velocity, his accuracy, some of those things in that first half, I think he wished he had some of those passes back. But we saw that velocity change. And you can go back and watch the timeline of the game. As the game progressed, as you go into the second half, that thing has some sting on it, right? He was driving the ball into holes. He was making passes that you're like, ooh, first half, that ball wouldn't even had a chance. So it changed, and he became better as the game progressed. So kudos to Dak. Overall, heck of a game, heck of a battle. Time that he had off, all that stuff. The opponent, absolutely. Great job, Dak.
I don't want to cuss you out on behalf of the fans.
On behalf of Heckma, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like, Dak came out, and Tom Brady too. I think both of them showed rust in that first quarter. But I thought Dak, he was a whole dog in the first half. He found open receivers. You're talking about location, and you're also talking about mechanics. And I think those naturally are things that quarterbacks in their first quarter are going to struggle with. And maybe 334 days away from playing football, that's the byproduct of it. I can go with that. But I think as far as just the mental aspect of his game, I saw no slippage in that. And the rust that we were expecting to see, I didn't see a whole lot of, because he capped off the drive with the touchdown, and you saw him do all the things that you were wondering could he do after he got hurt against the Giants. I think he answered those questions for you right off the bat. Second half, again, he made all the quality reads. Look, Todd Bowles threw a lot at Dak. He wanted to test him out early. Yeah. And I know I'm like everybody else out there that when Dak was pressured in the pocket, you're like, oh, get out of here, get your legs out. Guys holding on to him. I just feel like mentally he showed that that's one tough son of a gun. And for him to go out and play the way that he did with that gruesome ankle injury, not really in his head, and you say he didn't want to run. He ran 4 times yesterday. Yeah. So he did it when he needed to, and it wasn't like he took it out of his repertoire like you would have seen like Alex Smith for the Washington football team after he had his injury, which was both gruesome. But again, he didn't want no smoke. He didn't want to get out there and get out in the open field. But Dak just showed you that he still has it, and I love this game. I love the way that he battled back. I loved everything about what Dak did.
I thought mentally it was one of the best performances I've seen from a quarterback. Because you think about everything that he went through this offseason. You think about the ankle and then turning around the first padded practice. He comes out. He's got a shoulder injury. I'm with Isaiah, and I had a great conversation last night on Twitter. And by conversation, I mean I was pretty berated by a couple fans who had great points, and I completely agree. But I saw the same thing in the first half. The ball was dying out. The velocity wasn't there. In the second half, he was able to just rely on coming back. He had to just play football again. And it was an opportunity to do that. And I thought Kellen Moore called a hell of a game to be able to keep it underneath that Tampa Bay defense, whether that was because the defensive line in the front seven was getting pressure, or whether that was just the fact that he couldn't press the ball down the field. But I'll tell you these stats. I looked this up because of the conversation. Dak Prescott last night threw 6 balls beyond 20 yards, which is a significant drop-off of a percentage of his throws that were beyond 20 yards. It was 7 throws. In those 7 throws, he went 2 for 7 with that touchdown on the right side to Amari Cooper, and he had the interception, which was actually a really good throw over the middle that was dropped by CeeDee Lamb. Just 16 of his 58 pass attempts last night went more than 10 yards down the field. And in those 16 balls, he was 50%, which is a thing where 10 to 19 yards, as he's had in the past, according to Next Gen Stats, he's usually right up around 67%. He was at 50% last night and included not as many pass attempts there as you would normally see. I don't know if that's the case because of the line and you were just trying to get the football out quickly. However, I just think there might be a bit of a timidness from Dak Prescott in this offense to really stretch the field because we didn't see it at all last night.
Some of it's the pressure, too. I mean, you
got
to get rid of the ball.
It could be either one.
And some of it was by design. Like I mentioned, some of that stuff, I mean, they were kind of using the short passing game to kind of function as a surrogate running game where you're not running into the defensive front and you're stretching them out. I think that was sort of what they were doing game plan wise. And I liked what Drew Brees said at halftime. He said, the Cowboys have a good game plan. They're keeping them off balance. Just be patient. And that was the one thing for me, the interception. Good throw, I mean, in terms of the velocity on it, but it was an aggressive throw, and it felt like he was pressing there where he didn't have to. But if you noticed late in the game, it seemed like, and I need to watch it again, it looked like the Bucs kind of blitzed less and just went with front four. Some of that's Villa just pushing the pocket.
Being a dog.
But some of that, too, is Todd Bowles saying, he's dealing tonight. And we're trying to get home with the blitz, and it's not working because he's busting it.
Yeah.
I thought he was tremendous overall.
Taking what the defense gives you, and I think he played smart And he was very resourceful in that way. And I think in your first game back, you have to be, especially knowing the kind of the caliber of the defense that you're up against. The one throw to CeeDee Lamb, if that was considered a gamble, I'll go with that. But it hit CeeDee in the hands, and that's a catch you got to come down with, even when you're in double coverage. And I think CeeDee even alluded to that after the game, that, look, you got to catch that. You got to come down with balls that hit you in the hands. And I think that, I don't think that they came out with a conservative game plan. They just came out with a game plan of, look, man, everything that they give us, we're going to try and exploit. And I felt like Dak did a really good job of doing that and not pressing when he didn't have to. And there were plenty of times in this game where he could have made that mental error by trying to press. He didn't, and that's a veteran move. He also did other things by changing up his cadence and making those guys jump off sides, recognizing coverage, looking off safeties, doing the great things and finding the man-to-man situation on his offense. So you got to give the gold star and smelly sticker to number 4 for that as well.
He deserves all of that. He really does. It was a fantastic performance. And last night, I think it was more of the characteristics limit on Twitter that kind of got me in trouble, because if I could have put the word early in my initial tweet, it would have.
That stayed with you from last night.
Oh, it did. Yeah, no, I didn't sleep a whole lot last night because I was thinking about it. No, I slept fine. It was the first half that kind of concerned me a little bit. It was the second half that made me feel a lot better about it. We're going to see going into this week how he looks against the Los Angeles Chargers, because there's not going to be nearly as much pressure from an entire front seven. I mean, Bosa's going to get after him. I mean, there's going to be some guys getting after him as well. But I want to see what the play calling looks like. Will they stretch the field? Will he be able to throw it downfield with the shoulder injury? Or, like Isaiah said previously, is this going to be something that lingers? And that's not something I want to think about in terms of Dak Prescott, because he put up the stats, but the eye test was a little shaky in the first half. Second half was much better moving on. But that's going to do it for us here on Talkin' Cowboys, presented by Tostitos. So glad you've been with us here for the last 45 minutes. We're going to be back on Monday. We're going to continue breaking it down. We may even take some calls on Monday. I think we will take some calls. How about that? Let's hear from Cowboys Nation when we come back, 9 a.m. Central Time Monday morning. For Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, and our MVP, Chris Beam, in the back running on 2 hours of sleep, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next time on Talkin' Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!